Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your Moonlight King, and on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast, we cover, well, one central topic along with some other associated topics, such as the Not My Spider-Man controversy from Tom Holland as a result of his performance in one episode of The Crowded Room. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. The Backshots scene. We also cover Luca Guadagnino's Bones and All. Well, we don't really cover the movie. We just cover one aspect of the movie and how, well, when one actor does something similar to what Tom Holland did, there's one kind of reaction. But when Tom Holland does something similar to that actor, well, there's a very different reaction and the background from that, along with some other things we cover in this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast. So let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, boom. Not as divisive, but still divisive topic. Do you remember, you ever watch a show called The Crowded Room?
Now, what is it about?
It's like stars Tom Holland and, well, I don't know what it's about. I remember seeing it a while. I didn't see it, I didn't watch it, but like...
Is this the one where Tom Holland is all bald?
Bald? No, that's Cherry.
Okay.
So here's the synopsis. In the summer of 1979, a young man is arrested for a shocking crime. Hey, that rhymes. And an unlikely investigator must solve the mystery before the real criminal strikes again. Yeah, basically, it's the story of a dude who was the first person in history to be acquitted of a crime, charges dismissed, not dropped, because he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity because he has multiple personality disorder. That's basically what's going on. That's the story here. The reason I bring this up...
So it's kind of like Split.
Yeah, it's kind of like Split if they actually caught the guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Split, and dude has multiple personality disorder. This isn't the thing...
Disorder.
So...
I forget what it's called. There's a name.
So this ain't that. This isn't the reason I bring this up because the show is that good or anything. I bring it up because of the one scene in here. There's a scene in here where, okay, so this character is clearly established to have multiple personalities, and from what I've seen, I don't know this for sure because I haven't watched the show, but from what I've seen, apparently one of these personalities might be gay, and there's a scene in here where Tom Holland, as this personality, goes to a bar, hooks up, meets this black guy, and they fuck in a bathroom stall. And freaks on the internet were up in arms because of this scene, because, well, they were like, what the fuck is this shit? And this hashtag started trending. It's like, hashtag not my Spider-Man.
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like when a person becomes iconic for playing a certain character, like Spider-Man, I think people hold them to that character for like their whole career. And when they try to branch out and be a bit more adventurous with the roles that they accept to play, etc., they are going to face some heat, unfortunately. We've seen it with so many other celebrities. And sometimes it means the end of their career, unfortunately. But I think that Tom Holland has a bright future ahead of him. He always has Spider-Man. But I don't know. I feel like it's unfair to hold actors to only one sort of character archetype throughout their entire career. At the end of the day, he is an actor. This is literally his job to play different people, to get into character, to get into a different mindset, and to play a person who does suffer from a multiple personality disorder it seems like a difficult feat to accomplish. You constantly have to change, how you're playing this role depending on which, personality is in control. So if anything, we should applaud him on his skill as an actor rather than you know,
Make jokes about the fact that he takes it up the ass from a black guy.
exactly, you know. At the end of the day, this is the plot of the movie. You know, this is the character he's playing. This is what happens to this character, and he played it out well. I actually have seen the scene that you speak of. I don't know where, but I'm familiar with it, and he played it pretty well.
Yeah, he took that dick pretty well too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
he wasn't screaming or nothing. I mean, it makes sense with all that ass back there. Like I mean, what an interesting world we live in where Spider-Man has more ass than Captain Marvel.
True. Obviously, Captain Marvel is a tragedy. You know, we should have gotten a Miss Marvel instead. She's an icon. We all love her. But, you know.
We did get Miss Marvel. They gave her own show. I take it you didn't watch it.
Like, I don't know. I don't like Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel is a bit, you know, she's a bit of a spicier character.
She has her own show. Miss Marvel has her own show. Did you not know that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but you can't compare a show to a movie.
You didn't even see it, did you?
I know.
Then what are you crying about? Like, what the...
I don't know, I just hate Captain Marvel. I just want to be a hater for a while.
So you hate Captain Marvel so much that you will actively avoid a Miss Marvel show, even though you claim to like the character?
I mean, she's cool in the comics. I don't really F with Marvel series. What can I say? I don't know. I just don't like Captain Marvel. That entire franchise was a fail. Let's be honest here. It was a major fail.
I wouldn't exactly call 2 movies a franchise, but okay.
That was a fail. I feel sorry for the actress. Her career is probably in the dumps now. Shame.
But still, though, back to the crowded bathroom. Of all the places, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a club. It's not like there's a bed upstairs you can go to, but it's like just I don't care that Tom Holland fucked a black guy. I mean, in this character in this scene got fucked by a black guy. I don't care about that. I'm just like, man, this dingy bathroom, man. Like, this is where you're gonna take these back shots, like in this dingy bathroom. I mean, he took it pretty well.
He should have made better decisions, or rather, should I say, his personality should have made better decisions. But you know,
yeah, like if you're gonna hook up with somebody, like take them back to your apartment, or like go to their apartment. Don't be banging in no stall.
I don't know. You could probably catch a disease. To be honest, it's not worth the risk.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna be with somebody, at least okay. First off, make sure you got protection at least.
You know, to get something out of it.
Well, I mean, it was back in the 70s, so it wasn't really. I don't think AIDS was as big of a thing as it is now.
I mean, like drama was at large. People really weren't up to going to people's houses at that point, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the first reported case of AIDS was in the early 80s, and this shows in like the late 70s. So yeah, AIDS wasn't really a thing. So the whole you could catch a disease thing, it's like, yeah, you could still catch disease back then, but it wasn't it wasn't anything lethal, you know, like you get really sick and, you know, but whatever, but you wouldn't you wouldn't die. But yeah. I mean, you might die if you don't do anything about it. You don't go to the hospital and get a shot, but like, yeah.
You know, it was a gamble.
It was a
good time. Make some mistakes.
And it definitely, for better or worse, it did draw attention to the show. The wrong kind of attention, but still, it did draw attention to the show.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it was kind of a forgotten show now because, I don't know, I think, you know, it's just a little kink in his career. It's kind of like how Timothee Chalamet did Willy Wonka, but like Dune came out around the same time, so we weren't really interested in his chocolate factory adventures, you know.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say it was around the time he did that cannibal movie. Yeah, he actually fucked a dude in that one. I mean, he already fucked the guy. Well, no, in Call Me by Your Name, he was the one getting fucked, so it's not the same. But it was Blood and Bone where he actually got with a dude. Like,
stop that. Honestly, the people that romanticize Call Me by Your Name, I don't know. It's like, you know the book Lolita? You know what that is, right?
isn't that one where the little girl falls for the grown man?
Or rather, should I say, the grown man takes advantage of the little girl. And it's a classic book that is often renowned for its, you know, its skillful, beautiful writing. And honestly, when I read it, it reads like a horror novel to me personally. And Call Me by Your Name gives me that same vibes. Like, it gives me those same rumor vibes. Like, you are actively, you know, in the mind of this predator that is preying on this child. Obviously, Call Me by Your Name, it's the opposite. You're in the mind of the person who's actively being preyed upon. But, you know, I get those vibes of the book. The people who can read Call Me by Your Name and call it a love story concern me. Like, people were so obsessed with that book. I remember people had Ilio and that creep as their profile picture. They had it as their wallpaper. I was so freaked out. It's like, it's literally Lolita, but in a different font. And people were just eating it up. You people are sick. You need to go
Not
to
quite.
therapy. Yeah.
It's not quite the same. I mean, I don't remember the scene in Lolita where she gets intimate with a banana.
Okay, I give you that.
Yeah, but we did see Dude in the Peach, though. People loved watching that scene.
That enhance it to publicly. You know, we shouldn't be shoving fruit where fruit shouldn't be shoved. Okay, it doesn't belong there.
So you didn't like the scene where Timothee Chalamet banged a peach?
No. Okay, that is a health hazard.
It wasn't like he was gonna be eating it.
Infection.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. That is a great way to get a bizarre infection. Like, forget the infection. Imagine having to explain how you got the infection. Like, how did you get an infection down there? And why do you smell like fruits?
I may have, you know, had a little frump with some organic material. You know.
Yeah, like, the thing that causes me to avoid doing so many stupid things is, how am I going to explain this? Like, if this goes awry, how would I explain this? That's one of the main things that stops me from doing stupid things. Like,
the most common injuries in a trauma unit in a hospital is an anal obstruction.
Yes.
Usually a man-made or foreign object. And a lot of...
Kind of like that old rumor from back in the day about Richard Gere and the ferret. You know, look it up, man. I'm not 411. Look it up. It gets wild.
The time the excuse is I fell on it.
So you slipped.
And I don't know about you, but yeah, exactly. You tried to tell me that, you know, one day you were just, you know, strolling through your house, you happened to slurp on the wet floor, etc., etc.
Or the banana peel. Cue Hanna-Barbera sound effects.
And, you know...
And somehow this object managed to get through your pants, through your underwear, and go all the way in.
Exactly. You know? But, you know, to each their own, to each their own.
It's like that scene in the movie with, like, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. They are having this house party, and, like, Amy Poehler's character was with Ike Barinholtz, and his character slipped backwards, and he landed on this, you know, those dancing toys, like you wind them up and they dance around, but they play a song too.
Yeah.
He slipped and landed on it, and apparently the little dancing ballerina went up his ass. And I'm like, that shouldn't be physically possible without like there also being a ton of blood going on around here, because it's not like it's not like a dildo. It's not shaped and designed to go in there. It's a toy. It's got like sharp edges and shit. You'd be hurt pretty badly, man. Like this wouldn't be funny if that actually happened. Like there'd be a way more blood. No, fuck way more blood. There would be blood. Like you can't just land on a toy and then be like, yeah, it went in and it's just sitting there.
I once read that I don't know what animal it was. I think it's a skunk or some kind of rodent like that. But apparently, your anal cavity can stretch large enough to accommodate such a thing.
Yes, but it has to be stretched. It's not just rest. This is something all bottoms do and know. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying this is not exactly news, but yeah, I mean, it's news to those who don't practice that particular activity. I don't, but I've known people who do. Heck, I've been around people who do. There be some crazy ladies out there, man. Anyway, back to the show. Sting like that.
Okay, I give you that. But I mean, like, I suppose
it's a muscle. It can relax and contract.
You reach that tear, that tear factor. Like it's kind of like when you're giving birth. You can only stretch so far until things start ripping. I'm guessing that it's that same kind of system when it comes to the other end.
Yeah, I'd argue that's what. Heck, it's probably how good old Tom Holland in Crowded Room was able to take that black guy. Probably had practice beforehand.
Who knows?
Who knows what he and Zendaya do in their spare time?
And he won't even remember it,
Probably not, yeah.
We're switching personalities all the time. He'll be like, what were you doing when you were in charge last time?
Imagine waking up in like the fruity ass clothes and eye makeup and like, damn, what did I do last night? Better yet, who did I do last night? Oh. That'd be an odd conversation. But I don't understand that. I mean, I get the idea that no one wants to see their childhood hero or a character who played a childhood hero in a otherwise non-positive light. But the level of backlash from this, was so bad that Tom Holland said after the show came out he wanted to take a break from acting. Like, jeez, that's bad. That's absurdly bad, man. Like, people like reacted so hardly to this. There were two sides of people reacting to this. Either, the people who didn't have anything against it, they had nothing to say. Because, well, I have nothing against it. What am I going to say? Nothing.
I haven't watched it, but it generally sounds like an interesting show.
Yeah.
Like, it explores people with this disorder, and I mean, it does seem like a very serious disorder with serious complications, but it is also very complex and interesting. It's a cool. It sounds like a cool show to waste your time on. For lack of better words.
Then it should have been a Netflix series. They're the kings of background noise disguised as TV shows.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make, it does sound like a cool show. I think people just let their misconceptions on a certain, or rather preconceived conceptions on a certain actor cloud their judgment when it comes to the show. I feel like people always expect these actors to basically carry that same, that same archetype, that same character into every single show that they do, and it just doesn't work that way. Again, these are actors. Their job is to adapt to the new character that they are going to play, change their personality, the way they present themselves, the way they behave, etc., etc. It is their job. if anything, he's fulfilling his job and purpose perfectly. People are just too attached to this one character that he played, and now it could possibly ruin his career.
Not necessarily, because you look at the other actors who've played Spider-Man in the past, they've all, from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield, they've all had like a similar kind of role. Not similar in the sense that multiple personality, but they've all played an LGBT character before. Ain't nobody trying to cancel them. Ain't nobody yelling and screaming like, oh, he's not my Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man would never do that. He ain't fucking Spider-Man, okay? He's an actor playing a role. He's not actually gay. He's not going to drag bars and random weekends or what the fuck ever.
People are just crazy.
Yes, people are just...
I don't know,
no, people are just stupid.
Yeah, they are stupid, and they just assert themselves too much in the lives of these actors. Like, I get that they're famous people and their lives are, on view for everyone to see. But at the end of the day, they are just normal human beings like us. They are fulfilling a career position. It's just their job. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
People need to grow up and stop acting stupid.
One does need to understand, a job is a job. This isn't a thing. Like, man didn't take this role because he, I don't know, secretly...
Honestly, people don't know what real hurt is. You know what real hurt is? It's when, your beloved childhood show that you've been watching for years is perfect, suddenly decides to change the art style. That is true hurt right there. Now that is like a real issue, not some actor that's moving from role to role, changing the way they play that role. The real tragedy is these adaptive art styles, choosing stupid art styles to appeal to this new youth. One such example being Ben 10, another being Teen Titans. I just can't with these days. Have you seen the new Ben 10?
Fuck that show.
I can't.
That show...
That's a real tragedy right there.
That show had a weird incest clip in it where, like, Ben and Gwen, I immediately said, man, fuck this show. I'm done. There was this weird clip of Ben and Gwen floating through space. No. This is way worse. This is worse. Say what you want about Teen Titans Go, but there was a point where they were good. There was at early seasons, they were good. Now it's garbage. That Ben 10 remake was always garbage. There's this episode where Ben and Gwen are floating through space, and, like, it's a callback to an episode in the original Ben 10 where they were, like, they had to share a spacesuit, and they were still bickering and arguing between themselves as they always would. And, okay, that's fine. That's a good scene. But in this Ben 10 reboots, they're floating through space, and, they're bumping into each other, and they're laughing and giggling, and, like, bumping into each other and, like, trying to hold on to each other for support, and laughing and giggling that, like Gwen was like, Ben, stop. That's ticklish. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? These are cousins. What? Who wrote this? This is messed up. Oh, shit.
There's some real freaks working in child entertainment. That's all I'm going to say. Nickelodeon speaks for itself. What can we say? Disney Channel has its own freaks. But, there's definitely some freaks working there at Cartoon Network. We know this.
Oh, Nickelodeon don't be speaking for itself. The big old documentary be doing all the speaking. Exposing old Dan Schneider and all his freaky foot stuff. And his Steven Seagal beard. Like, I mean, how could anybody... if you looked at him back then, like, he just looks like a regular guy. You look at him now and you're like, damn, how did anyone not think this dude was weird? Look at him, and he got this Steven Seagal goatee. He's dyeing his hair jet black. He just looks like a creep. Like, this was even before the Quiet on Set thing came out. He He been looking like this ever since he got fired from like Nickelodeon. He's been looking bad. Like, it's like, damn, how did anyone let their kids near this dude? Like, god damn, but still.
After that whole documentary came out, I don't know how he's gonna recover from that, to be honest.
He's not. That's the thing. Nobody's gonna recover from this. I mean,
and he doesn't deserve to.
Yeah, that's the case. Circling back to issue you brought up, it's just the idea that I know this actor from playing this role, and I want them to play these kind of roles like continuously. I don't want them to try something crazy like this, because either way you look at it, regardless how accepting you may be, this kind of playing this kind of character in a story with this kind of scene in it is a risk.
It is a risk that every actor has to take in their career if they do want to diverge into, work that pertains to a different topic, to other worlds, etc., etc. But I don't know, man. I think people need to just cut these people a break. Okay, he's a young actor. He's still finding himself. What genre he's interested in, and there's many different actors out there that have ventured into different career paths, etc., etc. But I don't know, people need to chill.
Yeah, I agree. People didn't have nearly this level of reaction when Garfield or Maguire played gay characters in their respective films. And those films that they starred in were after.
It does have a lot to do with social media.
Yeah.
When you look at Tobey Maguire, for example,
Same thing when you look at old Timothee Chalamydia when he did that movie Bones and All. There wasn't nearly this level of backlash, like you didn't have legions of people being like, no, this is messed up. Paul Atreides would never, because there's a very big difference between old Timothee Chalamet and, the character of Paul Atreides. They didn't look at freaking, Bones and All and think, man, I can never look at him the same way after this. Man, he got a guy in the rear and gave him a reach around. It's significantly, okay, I guess you could let that slide because he was the one doing the pounding, not the one getting pounded. Like, I think the thing that bothers people, on top of what's happening, the thing that bothers people is that he's the one taking the pounding from the black dude, not only that, not that he's not just that he's taking the pounding, but that he's taking it from a black dude. It's like, oof. Like Tom Holland, he's getting a different kind of response to something Timothée Chalamet would get, because with Timothée Chalamet, this kind of movie, like a movie by Luca Guadagnino, I don't know if I'm getting that right, but if that's it, then so be it. Him starring in this kind of movie isn't something out of the ordinary, whereas for a guy like Tom Holland, who is used to big blockbuster roles, it is. With Timothée Chalamet, he was in these kind of movies, then the big blockbuster genre stuff. So it's easier to see him doing this kind of stuff than it would be for a guy like Tom Holland. Anyway, back to the rest of this.
People weren't very active on social media, when he was around.
It didn't really exist.
These days, when movies or series come out, people are hyping it up, people are discussing it online, etc. Not that they weren't then, but I think that there's more platforms to do so now. And I think people are just too free with their opinions these days. Just keep it to yourself, man.
Yeah. There's I don't know, it's just there's a precedent for actors, like for straight actors playing LGBT roles and it being critically acclaimed but not in a sense like widely accepted in a way, because normally if an actor does this before they get that one big breakout role that everybody knows them for, it's quickly forgotten about. But if it's after the fact, then it's like, oh man, like what's he doing? Like I'll never look at him the same way again, Because look at Heath Ledger. He did Brokeback Mountain, and then went on to do like Chris Nolan's Dark Knight as a Joker. I mean, if that were the other way around,
Everybody doubted him.
yeah, everybody doubted him. But if that had been the other way around, if he did the Joker first and then went on to do Brokeback Mountain, there would have been like, huh? Like people would have looked at him differently. There would have been people that are like, man, I cannot look at this character the same way, man. Like there would definitely be people be like, that's not my Joker. Like Joker would never like. Oh shit! But yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just how these things play out. At the end of the day, you know, Joker was his best role and his last role. I mean, obviously, he
not
was
quite, but yeah.
Things before this, but
that was the last movie he finished to completion. What you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
It sounds like he.
Ever.
No, I'm not laughing at his the tragic plastic, man. I'm just like the way I said it. I'm realizing, man, it sounds like finished to completion. Like trying to fuck the role, man. Like what the. So yeah, like no, but seriously, the last movie was like Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Like it was done in a way like they were able to. Like when he passed, yeah, it was a blow to the movie. He didn't film every scene, but they were able to rejig it in a way, like with Doctor Who, and he uses the when he like blows up, he comes back as a new person. Like, because when Doctor Who blows up, he comes back as a new person. So in Imaginarium, when he goes through this portal, like he'll go in as Heath Ledger, but he'll come out as Johnny Depp. Then goes to another portal, he'll go in as Johnny Depp, comes out as someone else. So it's a way to like have Heath Ledger still be in the movie, but to not and be able to finish the movie without just writing him out completely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he is still the best Joker in my opinion.
Yeah, we've had 3 in the last since then. Wait. Yeah, 3. I've done the math on that. We've had 3 since then, and they haven't stacked up.
Personally, Jared Leto was the worst.
No,
in terms of those 3. I mean, he looked the coolest, but his acting was subpar.
Okay. Going back to, speaking of acting, I mean, where do you see, like, despite all this controversy, do you think all this controversy around the whole hashtag not my Spider-Man and the crowded room is going to impact Tom Holland's role as Spider-Man going forward?
I don't think so. I think people just crowd around things that are on the chopping block at the moment. You know, he's a big actor because of his role of Spider-Man. Therefore, people are gonna pay attention to him. But I think once a new Spider-Man comes out and people are all hyped about it, I think they're gonna just forget. You know.
Yeah, they'll forget about it. I mean, unless they got a scene in there where, like, Peter and Harry Osborn get intimated, and then people look... Or Peter and Johnny Storm. Either way, might have something to say about that, but otherwise, yeah.
I mean, true. But, I don't know. But, as I said before, I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah, it's not. It's just...
People are just...
It's a role. People have already forgotten that crowded room was even a thing, so yeah. It's just something that...
Besides, in terms of a multiple personality disorder movie, Blood is definitely up there,
Yeah.
I loved the trilogy. It was pretty good.
Yeah. It's got its moments.
So I don't think people will be paying attention too much.
It's likely people have already forgotten about crowded room. As much as people would hashtagged and made videos where they yelled and screamed and so many reaction shots to it and memes and whatever, it's not a thing anymore. That's the state of the internet and social media nowadays. Something will be hot for a couple days, but by next week there's either something else in the news cycle or people just don't care anymore. So
That's as far as not my Spider-Man. Seems like that'll go. And that's all anyone can really say on the matter. That's really all there is on this topic of not my Spider-Man.
You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.